Hi, Ashley.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm Carl Lilvik. I'm actually I'm an alumni rep for the SIL up here in New Jersey, but I'm a member of the NJACAC. So I'm going to be your clock keeper tonight. Right.
Great.
So how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Feel
How
good
are
with
you?
feel good with the instructions that you've been given?
Yeah. My only question was, I think I have 6 or 7 people registered for
Right.
this session.
Okay.
I know the attendance, the registration to attendance has been a little all over the place on the ones that I've been in.
Okay.
If none of the 6 or 7 were to show up, do we do it anyway for the recording, or I wasn't sure about that.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Fingers crossed that just doesn't happen, but
How do you feel about that? Because I have no particular instructions on that, but if you feel like it is a benefit to you, you might want to go through, it'll only be, what, half hour, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, it might
So
be beneficial just because they say the recordings are like if someone skipped it and then went to go look for the recording, I guess you'd want it to be there. So
right.
if you don't mind, I can go through it anyway, and yeah, it'll only be like 30 minutes.
So you've been on a couple of these before?
On the panel ones, I
Okay.
haven't done an individual one yet because the other state that I'm doing them in that is a little bit ahead of the New Jersey schedule is Virginia, and they're actually not doing individual sessions. They're doing like small college fairs instead.
Okay, let me move on here and let me just go through what I have to do, and then we can go through that. Okay.
Yep.
So you'll know I'm going to cut you off at 45 minutes. It's being recorded if we decide we're going to continue, if there's nobody here. Again, I guess mute yourself if you're not speaking. And basically, they're going to ask the questions on the chat and the Q&A. So actually, if there's a number on there, you probably don't want to answer back directly. You want to repeat the question and let everybody know what the question is. Do you have any slides or any videos you're going to show?
Yeah, no video, but I do have some slides.
Okay, good. So let's see. It says if you're going to answer questions on the chat or the Q&A response, they don't want you to. They want you to dismiss the button to hide the answers. So if it doesn't if it doesn't seem to match. Well, as they say, you may not get to every question. You know this. If you've been through even with the panels, you know what the process is. So, all right, let's see. I guess I got, nope, that's it for us, for you and me. Any other questions besides the recording?
I don't think so. Should be good.
All right. Let's see, what do I have here? I'm going to go down like that. And then I will find a spot. Let's see. Okay. As you can tell, you're the guinea pig for me. You're the first one for me to do this. I have a local college and then I have VMI on Friday to do. So I figure I need to practice on somebody else because, you know, VMI is our primary competitor.
Yeah.
But I've been following you folks a little bit along the way. So, you know, referrals and people that ask questions. So that's why I'm interested, because things are different now, but when I go to college fairs, I'm wide open. Whatever kid needs to know, is interested in, I just try to steer them in whatever seems to be the best direction. So.
Definitely. Yeah, I know we've had, at least in the Mid-Atlantic, we do have some overlap with the Citadel in terms of interest.
Yeah.
Students looking for the regimented experience, but
Right.
sometimes they come to us for that, and then we don't have what they're looking for academically because we've got a pretty small list of majors. So I send them over to you guys or VMI if that's what they're looking for. So
well, we're one big happy military family. You know?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I am trying to find the start button. I don't see the start button. It tells me it's supposed to be okay. That's interesting. Oh, got it. We're just about ready to start. You ready to go?
Yep.
Well, it says it's in progress. I got the start button, but it's there. Well, we must be on air because it says we're recording. I don't see any Q&A yet. I don't see anybody popping up as a participant. Okay. But we're on time, so
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and they will come in when they're ready to come in. I'll just hide my face.
Okay.
All right. So, unless you want to talk to me. Okay. So
yeah,
I'm
just the information for you.
right. Just talk and I'll take notes.
Okay.
And then I'll get up and get my cup of tea. Right. All right. Go ahead.
Just gonna share my screen. And okay. So welcome. My name is Ashley Willis, and I'm from the admissions office at Massachusetts Maritime Academy. And I'm just going to be going over a little bit about what Mass Maritime has to offer and a couple of points about our admissions process. So if you're unfamiliar with what our campus looks like, this is an overview shot of our campus. Some quick facts about us. We are located in Buzzards Bay, Massachusetts, which is right along the Cape Cod Canal, about an hour directly south of Boston. We have about 1,700 undergraduate students. So those are students on our campus, and then we do have a graduate program with about an additional 100 students. We are a state university of Massachusetts, as well as a state maritime academy, which we'll talk a little bit more about what that means, but essentially just means we offer a more specialized set of programs. We offer a STEM-based education with a regimented campus life. And we'll talk a little bit more about kind of what each of those things mean, but essentially all of our academic programs have a very strong focus in STEM. And all of our students participate in a military style structure on campus, which again, I will talk about a little bit more. We have 15 Division III varsity athletic teams, as well as a variety of club and intramural sports. So academics, we offer 7 undergraduate degrees, all are Bachelor of Science programs. Those are the 7 listed right up on the screen. I'm going to briefly go through each one and kind of what they entail, but what ties all of them together is a learn, do, learn philosophy, which essentially means that you spend some time in the classroom, learning the theory from a textbook, then you go out and you do it, and then you come back to the classroom to evaluate that hands-on experience that you have, and you repeat that cycle throughout the 4 years as you're working on your degree. All of our students participate in a variety of experiential learning opportunities. And like I mentioned, that focus in STEM, so science and math is a really strong base in all of these majors, even in something like business. Our students pursue a variety of careers, both on land and at sea. We're most well known for the programs at sea. I know maritime is in the name, but know that not all of our students pursue careers in the shipping industry anymore. We do have students pursuing a variety of careers on land as well, or shoreside careers that support the maritime industry. So to jump into what some of those programs are, marine engineering and marine transportation are 2 of our most well-known programs. These are the 2 that students are most likely to be working in shipping. In these 2 majors, students earn the Bachelor of Science degree as well as the U.S. Coast Guard license. In engineering, that's a license to be a 3rd assistant engineer, and in transportation, it's to be a 3rd mate. Both are unlimited licenses, which means you can work on any size vessel and work anywhere in the ocean, which leaves you a lot of options in terms of where you want to work and what kind of vessel you want to work on. Engineers are more focused on being in the ship's engine room, keeping the systems within a ship working well together, whereas transportation is to be a deck officer and is more focused on navigation, the quote, driving the ship. Like I said, these are our students most likely to pursue a career in shipping, at least initially, but there are options for other career paths throughout the course of your career. So in engineering, you have a strong base in mechanical and electrical skills, which can be applied in other areas of engineering, or if you wanted to pursue work in shipbuilding or naval architecture, you certainly have the skills to do that. In transportation, we've had students move over into the logistics side, and if they decide they don't want to ship out anymore, you still have land-based options available. You're not destined to only be on a ship forever. In these 2 majors, students participate in a sea term every year. They do 3 sea terms on our training ship, the TS Kennedy, which is the ship in my virtual background. And 1 year they do a commercial shipping trip, which is like their internship experience where they use a placement on a functioning vessel somewhere in the world to gain that additional experience. What sea term looks like, it's a 52-day cruise on our training ship, so that comes out to about 6 weeks. It typically takes place in January and February, although you don't have to be on the water in the winter in Massachusetts. They typically sail down to the Caribbean, so it's actually a break from the Massachusetts weather at that time. While you're on board the ship, you spend time in the classroom, in computer labs, doing some of that classroom work, but it's a time for you to be applying a lot of those skills in a hands-on setting. So, if you're in transportation, you're on deck, you're helping with deck watches and maintenance, whether that's welding or painting that needs to be done on deck. You're up in the bridge, overseeing what the captain's doing, helping with navigation. They have the charts on the ship that you assist with. If you're in the engineering program, you're down in the engine room, overseeing what the upperclassmen or full-time staff of the ship are doing, and also participating in watches and maintenance. This past year, our students went to Panama, Costa Rica, Curacao, and Tampa. They've also been to Puerto Rico, Barbados, the U.S. Virgin Islands, other places in the Caribbean in the past. Typically, it's 3 to 4 international ports and 1 domestic port, typically in Florida. So this is really, a fun opportunity. You can have fun at those ports. You have some time at liberty where you can get off the ship and go explore the area. But it's also a really important time in your education to be gaining those hands-on experiences. So 2 of our other engineering programs, facilities and energy systems engineering. Facilities is basically designing and overseeing how systems within a large building or other type of facility work together. Energy systems is the design and implementation of systems that distribute electrical power. Both of these have a big focus on the management of large plants, energy management, and systems management, and how to oversee the use of equipment. Both have a focus on sustainability needs. In energy systems engineering, a big focus of the program is sustainable energy systems and how we can fit the sustainable energy to be distributed into existing electrical systems. In facilities, there's a focus on the sustainable energy management side and sustainable use of systems within those facilities. Both of these programs, while they are unique versions of engineering, still rely on basic skills that you would see in a mechanical, electrical, or industrial. It's sort of fusing skills from all 3 of those types of engineering to focus on this unique application of it. What's nice about that is that you have this very unique training and experience in a certain type of engineering, but you can always zoom out of that. You can always pursue a master's degree in one of those more general areas, or even be qualified for jobs in more than one of those areas as well. So this does, while it's not from the typical list of engineering programs you see, it's not limiting what you can do in the field. It's just giving you a unique approach to how to apply those skills. Emergency management, this has actually become one of our fastest growing programs, especially in light of the current pandemic. We can see the sort of obvious need for emergency managers. This is essentially disaster planning, preparedness, and response. The most obvious example of a career in emergency management would be FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, although there are EM agencies at the state, county, and town level as well. In the public sector, there's also companies like the American Red Cross. Hospitals often have emergency managers. School districts may have emergency managers. Private companies may have emergency managers who do risk assessment or business continuity. We also have students who go into law enforcement, fire safety, or EMS. So there's a number of different ways that EM can be applied aside from the traditional FEMA route, so to speak. This should actually say the new EM simulator has been added to campus. It was just unveiled this fall, and that's basically an incident command room that exists on our campus to give students real world experience right from their classes. International maritime business. This is essentially the business side of the shipping industry. Students often work in port logistics, marina management, cargo insurance, space capacity planning. Essentially, while our marine transportation and engineering students are out on the ship, keeping the ship running, getting goods from point A to point B, these are the students who are working in fields that support that work from land. Again, you're still gaining the basic skills that you would in a more typical business degree, but the unique focus on how those can be applied in this specific industry. So some students go on to, end up working in other areas of business, but they've had this unique preparation to work in maritime business. Marine Science, Safety, and Environmental Protection. I realize this is a very long name, but it's essentially marine biology mixed with environmental science. It's a very practical approach to marine science. Our students do a lot of hands-on work. We have a great aquaculture lab on campus where students are able to participate in research as part of their courses, but also independent research. NOAA researchers have been on our campus doing an ocean acidification project, and our students were able to assist with that, which was really great experience for them. Students have often gone on to work in environmental protection and management or environmental advocacy. Some work more on the marine biology side doing research at a research institute or in a master's program. What's great about this degree is that you do not just have to go on into a master's program, which is something we commonly hear about from students looking at marine biology programs, is that it's sort of a one track into a graduate degree. While you certainly can pursue a graduate degree from this program, you can also go directly into working, so you don't have to be limited there. And like I said, there's a variety of ways to apply this, whether it's on the environmental protection side, the occupational health and safety side, or that marine science research side. I like to just quickly point out our graduate degree programs. We offer 3 master's degrees in emergency management, facilities management, and maritime business management. These are all taught in an executive format, which essentially means that you are not in school full-time, and it's designed for you to be able to have a full-time job while completing the master's program. So students go to class every other weekend, Friday night and Saturday, and do the in-between coursework online. We mainly pointed out to students who are still in high school to let them know that we do also offer a 4+1 program, where in 5 years you can graduate with a bachelor's and master's degree. Essentially, you would apply for the 4+1 program at the end of your junior year, and in your senior year would begin taking graduate level courses in some of your elective spaces, and then finish up those graduate courses in a 5th year. So this can allow you to save time and money and earn both degrees in kind of one straight shot. You don't need to be in the corresponding undergraduate program to pursue any of these. So you could be in marine transportation and then decide you want to do the business masters, or you could even be in the emergency management undergrad and then switch to facilities for the masters. You don't need to be in a continuous trajectory, so to speak, although you certainly can do that as well. So aside from the academics, the other biggest piece about the Mass Maritime experience is the Regiment of Cadets. So the original reason why we have the Regiment in place is that students who earn a U.S. Coast Guard license are actually required to be a part of a Regiment of Cadets as part of earning that license. We have chosen to be fully regimented, so even our students in non-licensing programs still participate in this structure on campus. The reason why we have done that is because we really believe that everyone has something to learn from being a part of the regiment. We also feel that the regimental experience and what you have to gain from it is stronger if everyone on campus is participating. So what your day-to-day life looks like, everyone wears a uniform kind of as the ones that you're seeing in the photos. The day-to-day life is relatively structured, particularly in your first year. You have room inspections every day. You live in a company, which is rather than living in, Smith Hall, you would live in 4th Company. So that's sort of your building assignment. You compete with your company in intramurals in the first year. There's mandatory study hours at night in the first year as well. And then as you progress through the 4 years, you earn additional privileges. Some of those things become not mandatory. Room inspections are only periodic. So essentially your first year is a lot about learning to be a good follower so that your remaining 3 years can be about becoming a good leader. And by your senior year, there's a lot of opportunity to be involved in leadership positions where you're mentoring the underclassmen and leading the whole regiment. You can get involved in those positions as early as your sophomore year, but their intensity and responsibility grow throughout the remaining 3 years. This experience is designed to enhance your academic program. It's essentially making your student life part of your learning experience. So, you know, the coursework is going to get you your first job. The regiment's going to get you your first promotion. That's sort of our goal with this experience. So who chooses the regiment? We completely understand that this is a unique approach, and this is going to be a different college experience than you're going to see at probably the other schools that you're considering. So who chooses this? For some students, it's because they're pursuing one of the licensed degrees and they're going to have this experience no matter which institution they do that at. For other students, it's really because they enjoy the structure. Most students who come to Mass Maritime have already had some experience that leads them to know that structure is the type of environment where they thrive the most and they find the most success. But that's not true for everyone. Structure is not going to be the best fit for everyone. So we definitely encourage you to check us out, you know, talk to one of our current cadets, visit if you can when it's not COVID, and you know, get some insight into that to decide if this is going to be the right fit for you, because we certainly understand that it may not be the right fit for everyone. Some common high school extracurriculars that we see. This is just to give you an idea of what kind of students are coming to Mass Maritime. These are by no means a requirement to be accepted. But we do have a lot of students who have previously participated in junior ROTC, Sea Scouts, Sea Cadets, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, athletics, or have been team captains on their athletic teams. Have worked a part-time job, you know, juggled a variety of things while in high school, are just some of the common things that we see from applicants. So just coming to Mass Maritime and being a part of the Regiment of Cadets does not bear a service obligation. You're not joining the military just by coming. However, we certainly do have students who would like to pursue a military career, and so we do have some commissioning options available. So these are things that you would do in addition to your regular regimental experience at Mass Maritime. So you definitely have to opt into a commissioning experience if that's what you are planning to do. So we have a naval science program called the Strategic Sealift Midshipman Program. It's available to students in marine engineering and marine transportation. With this program, you earn an 8-year reserve commission in the Navy with a limited number of active duty positions that depend on the needs of the Navy in any given year. We also have a traditional Army ROTC program on campus that students from any major can participate in. And all of our students are eligible for MARGRAD, which is a Coast Guard commissioning program available to students who are graduates of state maritime academies. So that would work. You would apply for that in the months leading up to your graduation or right after your graduation. And if accepted, you do a 3 to 4 week officer training program with the Coast Guard, which is much shorter than their 17-week OCS. We've also had students who go the Officer Candidate School or OCS route and apply for that when they're graduating from Mass Maritime, some who enlist. When applying to OCS, definitely the regimental experience you've had on campus is a good experience to have on your resume as you're going through those applications. So there are a variety of options if commissioning is ultimately what you plan to do as part of your career. So campus life aside from the regiment, especially because we're not a military school. I mean, you're not joining the military just by coming. There is more flexibility in terms of other things that we have as part of campus life. So one important thing to note especially is that your regimental structure, it really only applies to the weekdays. Your weekends are still open. That day-to-day structure doesn't carry through on the weekends. So you still have free time and downtime every week that's going to be yours. We have Division III athletics. These are all of the athletic teams that we have. We do also have a variety of club and intramural sports. Most notably, we have club rugby and club ice hockey, both of which compete intercollegiately. So they actually compete against other club teams in the area all throughout the Northeast. So those are still pretty competitive teams, even though they're at the club level. We have a great student government association who oversees about 30 clubs that we have on campus, everything from fishing club to beekeeping club to a Coast Guard auxiliary club. So everything, you know, from career academic track to athletics to just things that you enjoy doing. Being involved in SGA isn't dependent on your regimental standing, so you don't have to wait until you've earned a certain privilege in the regiment. You can get involved in SGA or student clubs right from day one. You can even start your own club if we don't have what you're looking for right away as a freshman. And we have a variety of other events that happen throughout the year that are more similar to those traditional campus experiences that you might envision. We have Emory Rice Day, which is like a field day that happens on campus, pop-up events with food trucks throughout the year. We have a great student lounge and game room in the residence halls. We have dress down days throughout the year, which are also act as fundraisers. You pay to dress down for the day and then they donate that money. So you still get those aspects of, you know, traditional campus life that are fused with the regimental experience. So outcomes, this is really, you know, why do students come to Mass Maritime? Our first year retention rate is about 90%. So while that first initial transition to life at Mass Maritime can be challenging, once you get over that initial transition, students do tend to stay because it kind of only goes uphill from there after you get past that initial adjustment. Our average career placement rate is about 90% within 3 to 6 months of graduation, and our average starting salary is about $63,000. So students definitely, you know, it's a lot of hard work while you're on campus, but it's definitely paying off on the other side. And our 6-year graduation rate is about 73%, which is the highest of all public universities in Massachusetts. So similar as that first year retention, you know, students are staying on track and sticking with their degrees and able to come out the other side. So what type of student are we looking for? Our average GPA is about a 3.1 to 3.2, like a solid B. Our average SAT is about a 1050 to 1100, which is about a 22 to 23 on the ACT. This year we will be test optional, so the emphasis will be even more. It has always been on GPA and what's in your transcript, but now without the test scores, it will especially be mostly focused on that. So these test scores are, these average test scores are just to give you an idea of what our averages have been. But you certainly do not need to submit them. We'll be looking for strength in math and science courses and your trajectory over the 4 years of high school. So, you know, if your GPA is being brought down because you had a tough freshman year, we certainly understand that. It is not uncommon, and we will consider that in the context of your GPA. Energy systems engineering and emergency management are our more competitive programs. They don't have separate averages. Just know that they do tend to be more competitive, but you can apply for a first and second choice major. So let's say energy systems is your first choice and facilities is your second. We'll review you for energy systems, and if you're not able to be admitted to that, we would admit you to your second choice program. In terms of applying, we are on the Common Application, as well as we have our own institutional application that can be found on our website. When applying, we just require your official high school transcript, a personal essay. The Common App essay is fine to use, or if you're submitting our separate application, the essay prompt is just what led you to apply to Mass Maritime. 2 letters of recommendation, and like I said, SAT and ACT scores are optional for this year. When we say optional, we do mean it. It will not negatively impact you to not submit test scores, and they are not being used in merit scholarship consideration, which I will talk about in just a second. Our early action deadline is November 15th. If you apply by that time, it just means that you will definitely get your decision from us by December 7th. And then we move into rolling admissions. So we will be sending out decisions on a rolling basis, which just means that once you complete the application, it's about 1 to 2 weeks to receive a decision. Our priority deadline is February 15th. That's priority for merit scholarship reviews. So we definitely encourage you to apply by then. However, we will accept applications through April 15th. Costs and scholarships. So tuition fees, room and board and everything for out-of-state students is just about $40,000. There are some additional costs to consider for the annual C term or experiential learning trips, internships and co-ops. You pay for the credits for those. So typically I would say 45 is going to be a better yearly estimate for you. With that said, essentially very, very few out-of-state students are really paying that sticker price. We do offer merit scholarships that range from $8,000 to $15,000 for out-of-state students. You're automatically reviewed for those in the application process, so you don't need to apply separately. And an acceptance letter from us would indicate if you're receiving a scholarship and what amount you would be receiving. We do have need-based aid available as well. So the FAFSA is now, that's the free application for federal student aid. It is now opened on October 1st. Definitely get working on that as soon as possible. You don't even need to know where you're submitting it yet. You can fill it all out and then add schools as you need to, but it's always good to get started early. But when you submit your FAFSA, you can be reviewed for any federal need-based aid that you may be eligible for, as well as some need-based aid that Mass Maritime has available. We do have some returning student scholarships available as well. So in the spring of your freshman year, you typically fill out a blanket application for scholarships. Some of them are sponsored by certain companies or folks in the industry and are just designated for students currently enrolled in the program. Obviously, that's not going to be a big part of a decision-making process for you, but it's just to know that if you come to Mass Maritime, you do well, there is opportunity for additional aid along the way. And this is just to encourage you to, this is a brief overview. I know I threw a lot of information out there really fast, but if you're interested in hearing more about any of that, we do have a variety of virtual programming happening this fall. We have a virtual open house series happening into December, where you can hear from faculty and staff in the academic programs, as well as other departments on campus and current students. We have cadet chats happening where you can request to talk with one of our student ambassadors who is a current student, and we'll try to match you based off what you're interested, what the major you're interested in is. We have personal interviews, so if you want to sign up to talk to me, I am the counselor for New Jersey, so you most likely be setting it up with me. We have that available, and we've participated in a variety of collaborative panels through this New Jersey Virtual College Fair program. So you can see any of those recordings at the link where this recording will be, as well as we're going to be working on some collaborative panels that we are hosting on our own that you can find on our website. So like I said, if you missed one of those panels that happened as part of the New Jersey program, definitely find us there. We have participated in a Women in STEM session, a going out of state for college, and Maritime Academy's debunked session where we partnered with Maine Maritime and SUNY Maritime. So if you want to hear a little bit more about all three of us together, definitely check that out. And that's just our website link. If you go to the website, it's really easy to find our visit information. Just go to Visit MMA, and it's all broken down right there. And this is my contact information and our office's contact information. If you have any questions about the application process or academics or anything, definitely feel free to reach out to me directly or to our office anytime. And thank you.
Well, thank you, Ashley. Very interesting. A quick question though. You eligible, and I mean you do accept Army ROTC scholarships? Yeah,
so since the Army ROTC program is a regular ROTC program, so students can apply for those. Yep, students can apply for those and they would be able to use that. The SSM, the Naval Science program, is not eligible for regular Naval ROTC scholarships, but it does have a separate student incentive pay program that students can apply for that can cover up to $8,000 per year. It just works a little bit differently in terms of how you can apply for it, but there is money available for that program too.
Okay. Well, great. your outcomes are pretty close to ours, or ours are close to yours. Not exactly. We're better in some areas, you're better in a number of areas. So anyway, very good, Ashley. You're not from New Jersey, are you?
I'm not. I live in Massachusetts.
You raised in Massachusetts?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, my daughter's in Somerville.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I live in Boston, so I'm.
Yeah, I
real
taught
close.
at Northeastern for 3 years, ROTC. So.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to terminate us.
Okay.
We'll have the recording there for you, or for them.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, actually. You did a great job. You're really smooth at that.
Oh, thank you. I've been doing it a lot.
Okay. And this virtual stuff with no audience,
I know.
just looking at it. Okay. Thank you very much, Ashley.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.